Warning, this story is for mature audience. If you are not concerned, care to ignore this story as it contains drama, violence and adult topics. Thanks for your comprehension and enjoy the listening.
We take a minute to tell you that the podcast is read by an AI voice. We apologize in advance for the accent without intonation, or the bad pronunciation of some native words in English, including acronyms. If you want a better understanding of the story, you should read the book, The Valhwatch. You will find the link in the description of this video.
In the previous chapter, Janot Stein made the bold decision to relocate to Los Angeles, unknowingly sharing the city with Maria Deli, another ambitious protagonist striving for success. Neither was aware of the other's existence, both chasing their dreams of wealth until fate intertwined their paths in a surprising encounter, where a confounding clash led them to mistakenly believe they were enemies. Disturbed by the proximity of another Valhwatch, Janot opted to move to Texas instead. Meanwhile, in Chad and Africa, soldier Sarah Aziz valiantly fought against terrorism with her gears, supported by her AI assistant Fatima. Meanwhile, Russian spy Ivan Rakovsky, equipped with Valhwatch gears and assisted by the AI Yaga, worked in the shadow for his government, tasked with investigating the enigmatic origins of advanced technology in the USA, as concerns grew about America's technological capabilities. Want to know more? Let's continue with the next chapter.
In the shadows where doubt might creep, we rise up strong, our dreams to keep. Choices abound, but we stand our ground, with hearts ignited, no backing down.
Don't give up, fight and remain tall. Through every struggle, we'll conquer all. A brighter future just within reach. With every step, life's lessons we teach.
Chapter 5: Power and Weakness. A few months later, Ivan Rakovsky, equipped with an actual system-level LV-3S, arrived in the USA as his Russian government had planned. The Texas sun poured down relentlessly, shimmering against the vibrant blue sky and casting lively shadows on the ground below. He took an apartment in Texas after hearing that a specific CEO of a company, Janot Stein, was running a renowned tech firm named Aglami. The air was thick with the scent of barbecue, and as he roamed the bustling streets, he could hear distant laughter and clinking glasses from nearby cafes, a stark contrast to the mission that loomed ahead. An overview of Texas shimmered under the hot sun before zooming in on the sleek, modern structure of the Janot headquarters building. Glass panels glistened, reflecting the vibrant life of the surrounding city. Inside, the first-floor open office was filled with employees typing furiously at keyboards, punctuated by occasional laughter and ringing phones. The energy felt electric, alive with ambition and determination. On the sixth floor, Janot, with an actual system-level LV-20A, sat in his spacious CO office, a frown etched across his face as he examined charts of the company's earnings growth. The walls were adorned with accolades and achievements while sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, casting a warm light on his troubled expression. He took a long, deep breath, trying to steady himself before walking to the wide glass windows, gazing down at the cityscape sprawling beneath him like a living, breathing organism. Bitter memories bubbled up as he recalled his first day, the moment he had ignored the system and the company that had unexpectedly fired him. Flashbacks of intense fights with hollows flickered in his mind like ghosts, urging him to confront the past. Flashbacks surfaced of months ago when he had faced hollows blocking his path to success. One fierce hollow entity he encountered in Los Angeles brought back images of destruction and chaos. The city's hustle echoed around him, but all he could see was the silhouette of the Grim Reaper against the sunset, days after he had fought against Maria. One day, while driving his motorbike on a sunny highway, a hollow appeared on its own motorbike, unnoticed by everyone except Gino Stein. The ominous figure resembled a Grim Reaper, standing out against the clear blue sky. Shiva's warning sliced through the wind, tense and urgent. Without hesitation, Gino accelerated, adrenaline coursing through his veins, exclaiming, "What the heck? Now the hollow is showing up as a Grim Reaper on a bike? I won't be surprised if it turns out to be a Ghost Rider reference." The hollow's side struck with a whoosh, damaging cars along the way as the wind howled, screaming a warning. Instinctively, Gino lowered his head, feeling the rush of air as the attack whooshed past him. Their battle became a dangerous dance, a deadly rhythm as he dodged with fluid grace along the edges of a bridge while the city pulsed vibrantly below. The thrill of the encounter mingled with fear. He found himself trapped and unable to escape easily. Switching his bike to automatic mode, a hum of machinery blended with the roar of the engine. In a daring leap, he jumped onto a passing truck, the hollow following relentlessly. They fought fiercely, spiraling through the air, Gino employing the martial arts moves he had mastered. Each dodge felt like a heartbeat missed, and when the hollow's weapon sliced through the truck, it exploded behind him, debris raining down. The intensity of the encounter increased as he was suddenly catapulted into the river below the bridge. The cold water engulfed him, sending shock waves of energy through his body, a stark contrast to the warm sun above. The Reaper plunged in after him. With his costume, Gino could breathe underwater without problems, as it dynamically converted water into oxygen. The pressure of the depths enveloped them in a strange, deadly calm as they continued to fight. Their movements felt almost dreamlike, slowed by the water's resistance, as though they were moving through molasses. Taking a moment to step back, clouded by his pounding heart, Gino picked up a stone from the riverbed, the cool, rough texture grounding him. He threw it with all his strength, and it sailed through the water with a splash, effectively striking the hollow's left arm. He saw the strick, their weak point, glowing on the hollow's head, signaling that he needed to find a way to end this. He noticed that during the fight, the Grim Reaper had dug some holes in the ground, revealing dangerous-looking tangled cables beneath. He asked Shiva if those cables contained electricity, and a tense silence hung in the water as she analyzed and confirmed it with cold precision. Now, the only thing Gino needed to do was drive his opponent to strike the cables with his scythe to electrocute him, while he quickly exited the river to avoid being shocked. His plan began to unfold. With a quick dodge, the Grim Reaper struck the cables, jolting with electricity, while Gino surfaced and sneaked onto the field, avoiding attention from the people below. The road was damaged, and locals wondered about the recent chaos in the city. Breaking news flooded TV screens while police began searching for the source of the mayhem. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, Maria, with an actual system-level LV-18B, sat in her CEO office. The atmosphere was thick with nostalgia as she felt the weight of her past fights bearing down on her. The traditional office sounds faded into a blur, phones ringing and keyboards clacking. She hadn't progressed with the Valhwatch system lately, her accomplishments creating a void she couldn't fill. The luxurious surroundings of her office felt hollow, and she gazed outside the window, where a sunset painted the sky with hues of orange and magenta. It was beautiful but lonely, and like many women her age, she was searching for something more, a reliable partner to fill the silence. Though some men tried to flirt with her, smiles exchanged like currency, her heart remained elsewhere. Gino Stein drifted into her mind like a shadow, famous with his company, and memories flickered like flames in the twilight. Sometimes, when the sting of solitude nestled in her bedroom, akin to the choking shadows of night, she sought solace in daydreams, imagining Gino's face igniting her desires. Each kiss on her fingertips felt forbidden yet intoxicating. Driven by a surge of courage, she decided to visit Texas, determined not to wear her costume this time, She feared it would frighten him again, as it had last time. Instead, she donned a simple outfit, whispering to herself, I really hope to reach you, Janot Stein. Last time, he was ruthless toward me. Should I really approach him, even though I might get killed? But I'm just a normal female citizen, right? You can't act recklessly like you did back then because you've become a famous man too. I won't lie, he is my type, huh? What am I even saying? Have I gone crazy from loneliness? Though my heart wants something epic, something unusual, too. Blending into the shadows and altering her appearance, she observed his movements from a distance, both at work and home, like a ghost haunting the fringes of reality. A few days later, Ivan Rakovsky walked around Janot's building as a regular citizen, seamlessly blending into the afternoon hustle while sipping his coffee in the afternoon sun. The warmth resonated against the pavement as he reveled in the aroma of freshly brewed dark roast wafting through the cafe with an outdoor terrace, where laughter and chatter echoed, oblivious to the plans unraveling in the background. With an S rank, he could camouflage the waves on his suit. He was an unseen predator pacing through a flock of innocents. He even had the means to detect a user as another feature, even if they didn't wear the skeleton. One day, when Janot finally exited his company in his car, Ivan felt a thrill of triumph. His AI assistant Jaga had confirmed that Janot was indeed a user, and he muttered, "Now it's confirmed. The famous Janot is indeed a Valor. Now, I will test him." But Ivan wanted to assess Janot's abilities further and understand the depth of his power, a chess player studying his opponent's moves. In the following days, he observed as Janot went about his life, immersed in the rhythms of a bustling city. One night, as darkness blanketed the landscape, Janot drove home when suddenly Ivan's car blocked the way on a secluded road, the headlights glaring like looming fate. Expecting the driver to retreat, Janot hesitated, confusion clouding his thoughts, muttering, "Oh damn it, what is the driver over there doing? He's been blocking the way for quite a while." Instead of backing down, Ivan exited his vehicle with imposing calmness, a cane held with precision in his right hand as he approached Janot's car with ominous purpose. Janot exclaimed, "Ha, he even got out of his car. What's this grandpa looking for with a cane coming toward me? Is he drunk or something?" Shocked and bewildered, Janot watched as Ivan raised the cane like a weapon and smashed the front of his car, metal crunching and bending. Fear ignited within him. Primal instinct to survive surged. He grabbed his bag containing his gear and fled. Adrenaline coursed through his veins, heightening every sense, and making the world around him crisp and vivid. Confused, Janot exclaimed, "Are you another Valor?" Both locked eyes, and a flash of realization and dread flickered across Janot's face. Perplexed, he whispered to Shiva why she hadn't warned him. Her voice responded, laced with urgency. "Janot, it's strange. Even right now, I don't identify him as a user." A chilling silence ensued. Ivan stood calm, a slight smile unnerving him, as he introduced himself. "I am a Valhwatch. Are you confused? You're chatting with your virtual assistant? I'll give you time to put on your Valhwatch costume to fight me." That was precisely what Janot had planned to do. Tension thickened like fog enveloping them. As he donned his costume, Janot aimed to gather information about his opponent, what propelled this man to attack him, and where he came from. Ivan remained silent, a smirk playing on his lips, declaring, "Young man, searching for intel about me using your system is futile. If you want information from me, it will be through a fight utilizing your full potential." With renewed determination, Janot morphed gauntlets onto his hands, designed to absorb the impact of an opponent's brutal damage, a strategy born from past experiences. He unleashed his pent-up fury in a punch aimed at Ivan, but Ivan's reflexes shimmered effortlessly, dodging as if the air parted around him. Janot threw a kick, a feint through a whirlwind of martial motions, but nothing seemed to work against Ivan's fluid movements. Their movements grew faster with a bang, bang echoing everywhere, the world merging into a blur, a dance of power and skill, until Janot nearly found an opening with a decisive kick. Ivan effortlessly parried with his cane, a deceptive master of rhythm and control. Ivan pressed a small button on the cane, extending the stick slightly and making contact with Janot's stomach. The force hurled Janot away into a nearby tree, splintering bark under his weight and sending scattering leaves into chaos. Ivan took his time striding forward, like a predator savoring the chase, before leaping, aiming for Janot's position. Gasping, Janot said, "Arg, that old man is powerful! I've never encountered anyone like this." As Janot struggled to his feet, a creeping shadow fell over him. He felt a rush of air as something hot and heavy descended from the sky at frightening speed, like an asteroid or comet. It was Ivan. In an instant, he gauged his escape path and barely dodged as the ground exploded in a cacophony of rock and dust, uprooting nearby trees and sending him tumbling slightly away, disoriented. Before he could gather his wits, Ivan moved swiftly, a blur, like a ninja on a mission, seizing his neck with icy precision. Desperately, Janot fought against the grip, but couldn't break free. Ivan relinquished his hold, stepping back just enough to assess his opponent's full extent, the air charged with tension. As he scrutinized Janot, who felt humiliated, anger and embarrassment churned inside him like a storm. Frustrated and driven by a need to reclaim his pride, he commanded Shiva to upgrade his level to the maximum amount in his bank account, amplifying the stakes of his desperation. She cautiously asked if he was sure about the decision, stating, "Are you really sure about this? It will drastically reduce your discretionary funds." But to Janot, it was no longer about ego. It was about survival, about acquiring user equipment as invaluable loot. Shiva analyzed his bank and the system's pricing for the level upgrade, confirming his maximum potential level was now LV28A. He confirmed the transaction, urgency fueling his resolve, hoping to reverse the situation in his favor. Feeling faster, he rushed forward with renewed energy, but it became apparent that Ivan still tracked his every move, eyes sharp and alert, parrying and dodging flawlessly as they engaged fiercely in martial arts once more. Indeed, Ivan's experiences were advanced, having battled multiple opponents and hollows in Russia. Not to mention, the system had granted him useful skills from the day he received his Valhwatch equipment. Colliding strikes reverberated through the scenery. The nearby forest trembled as their fury sought to conquer the air surrounding them. Finally, one of Janot's blows connected with Ivan's jaw, a victory marked by surprise. Ivan smiled slightly, and he said, "Humph, not bad, young man. Let's see what you've got." Recognition dawned, as if he finally regarded Janot as a worthy adversary. A glowing mark appeared on his left hand as he harnessed the ground surrounding him, veins of power pulsating. Janot's surprise erupted. "Eh? Now he can manipulate the ground? How far can the system extend for a user?" Ivan directed his hand toward Janot, and the earth answered, shifting as an extension of his will. The ground morphed, rocks and sticks forming into weapons of assault, launching toward Janot like missiles. As debris hurtled through the air, Janot sprang into motion, desperately trying to dodge the ground's attacks while circling Ivan, inquiring with Shiva about the glowing tattoo and how he had mastered the soil. Amid the chaos, Shiva analyzed the mark, her voice steady as she revealed, "It seems that man has reached a certain level that unlocked this feature and—" Ivan wielded the knowledge like a hammer, delivering blows with unrelenting force. While Janot absorbed Shiva's explanation, Ivan closed the distance with a surprising punch, knocking him to the ground with unparalleled impact. Ivan showed no mercy. He mounted him, unleashing a barrage of strikes against Janot's face. Each blow resonated through the forest, trees swaying and leaves dancing like confetti amid the battle. Trying to defend against the onslaught, Janot instinctively blocked with his arms, his gauntlets absorbing some damage. Yet, as he braced himself, Ivan targeted his stomach, hurling beams of agony that ruthlessly damaged the suit, the unsightly cracks visible through the material, as ribs broke and skin tore, leaving Janot vulnerable. Finally, a crushing strike sent him spiraling into unconsciousness, darkness folding around him like a comforting blanket. Ivan paused, breathing deeply as he surveyed the scene, confirming that the USA posed no threat at that moment. He darkly planned to return to Russia to report before taking his car and heading to his apartment. Meanwhile, Maria acted like a stalker, her heart racing as she trailed Jeannot in her car while anxiously maintaining a safe distance. The road stretched endlessly before her, shadows creeping with her every turn. She spotted Jeannot's car on the road, its front crushed. Concern washed over her like a wave, unease prickling her skin as she wondered what had transpired. Hearing distorted noises from the forest, she parked a distance away, her heart pounding in her chest, cautiously approaching the source of the sounds with bated breath. As she reached the scene, the sight struck her like a slap to the face. Jeannot lay on the ground, his once heroic figure now reduced to a pitiful state amidst the disarray of the forest. Shock coursed through her, shattering the pedestal upon which she had placed him as a powerful man. Her ever-reliable personal assistant, Steve, suggested, "My Lady Maria, if you want to save him, we have to inject him with a serum. He'll recover." But a knot tightened in her stomach. She had left the serums in her apartment. Panic flickered in her eyes. Desperate, she donned her costume, heart racing as she lifted him, using all her strength to carry him to her car. Once inside, she drove swiftly to her apartment, excitement bubbling within her despite his drained state, the thrill of being so close to him igniting adrenaline through her veins. After arriving, she placed Jeannot on her bed, urgency propelling her actions as she quickly began administering the serum into his Valhwatch. The process was swift. She watched as the glowing liquid worked its magic, reconstructing his ribs, lines of power stitching him back together as his skeletal frame restored itself. Intact but still unconscious, breathing steadily alongside her frantic heartbeat. She lay next to him, gazing at his face, a swirl of confusing emotions flooding her mind as visions of possibilities tugged at the edges of her thoughts. The warmth radiating from him was intoxicating. She considered how she'd saved his life, but the notion faded in the tide of longing. He'd likely remain cold toward her, she mused, frowning slightly. Her heart raced, knowing this might be her only opportunity to weave herself into his existence. Gently, she began to caress his chest, fingertips gliding over hard muscles, hesitant but eager. Her breath quickened as she leaned closer, heart pounding in her ears. She kissed him softly on the cheek, waiting to see if he would wake up. When he didn't respond to her gentle touch, frustration sparked within her. Her next kiss was bolder, pressing her lips directly to his mouth, a spark igniting an uncontainable fire as her hands moved lower to explore, the promise of intimacy clouding her judgment. In the depths of their tangled sheets, she moved further until reaching his fingers deftly navigating through the suit's concealed opening for the lower body. Her heart raced as she unlocked that part, stripping completely bare, revealing her naked form as she joined him in their shared realm of temptation. She kissed him passionately, desperation igniting the surrounding air, moving lower, her lips wrapping around him with eagerness, a feverish sanctum in which she surrendered to her desires, the world outside fading into obscurity. Once he was fully erect, a wave of satisfaction surged through her. It felt wrong, but only heightened her thrill. Without a thought for consent, she inserted into her an act of raw desire overwhelming her senses. Ignoring Steve's warnings about consent, her excitement drowned them out. She was determined, bordering on feverish, as she lost herself at the moment, oblivious to everything beyond the confines of her heated urges. In the morning, as dawn's light filtered through the curtains, they both lay sleeping under the covers, the weight of the night still hanging between them. Maria clung to him as if they were already a couple, their hearts entwined amidst the aftermath of their heated decisions, lying naked and vulnerable. As Jeannot began to wake, grogginess settled over him, and he felt warm arms around him, the heat seeping into his consciousness. Disorientation clouded his mind as he turned his head to find a girl sleeping beside him, a stranger in a sea of familiarity. Panic surged, confusion cracked his thoughts, and his instinct was to escape the predicament he found himself in, a web of uncertainty. Carefully pushing her arms away, while Maria faked sleep, hoping to catch his attention, Jeannot grabbed his clothes, an urgent need to leave gripping him. But as he reached the bedroom door, Maria, feeling insulted, woke up, her self-esteem wounded by his actions. Recognizing her voice, despite her altered hairstyle, he turned slightly, reality crashing around him, asking, What happened? The only thing I could remember was being in the forest with an old man. Why am I here? She explained the situation, the serum, the battle, how she had saved him, and her own inner turmoil. He thanked her in a plain manner, a vague sense of gratitude coursing through him, promising to return the serum she had injected, but she desired more than that kind of response. Her heart raced as she asked, "Jeannot, are you still upset about seeing me? If not..." Standing up, wrapped in bedsheets and moving closer to him, she continued, "If not, may I have your phone number instead of giving me back the serum?" He remained silent, questions churning through his mind as he left, stating that a delivery package for the serum would soon arrive at her apartment, an excuse to create distance. Jeannot didn't have time for such emotions. Memories of a powerful opponent, who wasn't a hollow, tangled on his mind. Frustration gnawed at him, and while awaiting the next quest or relevant event to uncover more about the system, he was resolved to discover the truth. In the meantime, thoughts of his parents in Germany surfaced, memories washed in warmth and nostalgia. He planned to pay them a visit, but the burden of his newfound reality weighed heavily as he braced himself for the turmoil that lay ahead.
We hope that you did enjoy the listening, and let's meet again for the next episode, for another adventure.
In the shadows, where doubt might creep, we rise up strong, our dreams to keep. Choices abound, but we stand our ground, with hearts ignited, no backing down. Don't give up, fight and remain tall. Through every struggle, we'll conquer all. A brighter future just within reach. With every step, life's lessons we teach. In the shadows, where doubt might creep, the enemy can stab us in the back. Choices abound, but we stand our ground, with hearts ignited, no backing down. With hearts ignited, no backing down. Don't give up.